UCLA, the road team in this ball game. It's a low skittering kick, and it goes into the end zone and out of the end zone and will come out to the 20-yard line. The big story of the Wisconsin football team may, however, be in the offensive line, as we have the first snap, and it's who else but Brent Moss. And there is an example of what he can do to you. Jameer Miller shifts outside. He comes on a blitz and gets piece of the action at about the snap of the ball point. No gain on the play from Moss. It is third down and still about 2. Moss again comes right in behind Joe Panos. And he's got his first down as he goes to the 31-yard line. And here's Bevel now for his first pass to the sideline. The pass is good to Michael London. And London gets it past the marker. So from near the 44-yard line, the Badgers go to work, give that ball back to Moss again, and he's up across the 45 on that carry. Give him a 2-yard pickup. Second down and 8. Bevel back to throw. Gets it away to the 50. It's across midfield to J.C. Dawkins. I wonder who will get the ball. Well, they had him behind the line of scrimmage and couldn't hold him. And Brent Moss gets the first down. First down, Badgers at the Bruin 45. Moss getting a lot of work in the early going, and there's nothing on that carry. Call it second down and 9. It's Moss again. Slips as he tried to plant and make the cut. Marvin Goodwin was right there blocking his way. Doremus, number 2, has been the prime target all season. The tight end, Michael Roan, however, is a very big target of the Goodwin. It won't be Roan. He's blocking. The pass is thrown deep for Doremus. Out of bounds. Caught the ball, but he's out of bounds. Sam Veit has had only 14 punts returned this season. He's good at knocking the ball out, killing it deep, and he's going to get this one killed pretty deep, like the 1-yard line. Officially, they're going to call it the 3. I don't know why. The ball's touching the 2. Wayne Cook turns and hands the ball off to Ricky Davis. And Davis wiggles his way out to about the 8. Second down at about 4. And Skip Hicks is the tailback now. He is a freshman from Wichita Falls, Texas, and he can run. But they don't let him get around the corner. They stop him at the 11-yard line, so he's going to be a couple of yards short. Out of the shotgun, the ball is handed off to Hicks, and here he comes around the corner, and he's got the first down. He's got some daylight, and it's a big play for UCLA. Cook, first pass of the ball game. There's Stokes. And the ball goes to the Wisconsin side of the field. First down at the 41. And a penalty flag is thrown on the far side of the field. John Laurie out of the Big 8.
Personal foul, offense, 15-yard penalty.
James Milliner is in there now at the deep spot. Runs the ball in the middle with Ricky Davis. And Davis, who had a huge ball game against Southern California. Second down and 8. Cook hands it off. And Ricky Davis will have a couple of yards on the carry. So they're probably looking at third and about 6. Here comes Davis in motion. He's a pretty good receiver, too. Cook's pass goes for Stokes. He's into the middle of the field, and it takes a couple of Badgers to put him down. First down and a penalty flag as the fight goes on with Stokes trying to shake off the smaller man, and it's Reggie Holt who finally wrestles him down. Second penalty on UCLA. Third down and 3. Shotgun, double wide, bottom of the picture. Stokes goes the other way and gets the ball, shakes a man, and Stokes is all the way down to the 17-yard line.
We're going to double Stokes some. We're going to play him a soft zone. We're going to play him a tough zone when we double. When we man up, we'll double him. We've got to disguise him. I don't want that quarterback to know what we're going to be in until the ball snaps.
Well, they have not doubled him.
To have to execute once he's taken the football.
Yeah, well, they have not doubled him yet, Keith. Every time he's caught the ball, it's been single coverage.
Second down and 8.
Blitz.
No, he didn't either. Somebody had him by the foot. Number 47, Eric Unverzak, had him by the foot and wouldn't turn it loose. Ball outside the 17-yard line. It's 3rd down and 11, and Cook is in the shotgun. Very sore throat. His voice may not last all day. Hands the ball to Davis, and Davis slices over the right side. Finds some daylight to the 11-yard line. The holder is Jeff Clark. The snapper is Paul Pernicki. The snap was off the mark. The hold was a little late, but Mertens hit it solid. UCLA out to a 3-0 lead. 4:16 to play in the first quarter. This kick is up high, up into the sun, looking 3-yard line. Jackson, and 20, and 21, 22, and that'll stop him right there. Now Bevel has Moss and Montgomery behind him, and Moss with the ball looks for some daylight, finds some from the 22 to about the 26. Moss over the left side, and close to a first down.
But then these backs, Moss and Fletcher, who'll be in a little bit, can do so much on their own.
Matt Nyquist now checks in at a tight end position. And on first down, a pass play goes to Moss. And a couple of 3 yards on it. We have not seen Fletcher as yet. Moss got the call. He went for over 1,400 yards. So it's 2nd and 5. Look how deep he is. Looks like O.J. sitting back there that far from the line of scrimmage. Picks a hold. Picked the right hold, didn't he? Takes the football for another Wisconsin first down. Tommy Bennett wrestled him down and put the ball right near midfield.
9 of the 11 offensive players for Wisconsin are coming back too, so they'll be a force in the Big Ten next year.
Lord, they're going to need them too with their schedule. Back goes Bevel to throw it. Short to the sidelines. J.C. Dawkins' second catch. And Dawkins will have another first down for Wisconsin near the UCLA 36-yard line. Almost dropped the ball, lets it go deep. Flag. No flag. I don't see a flag. Yep, there is one back there. I thought I saw it for a moment, and then it fell on the red, and I lost it. All right, the red and white crowd on their feet, rooting for their Badgers. They've got a first down at the UCLA 21-yard line. And the Bruins are leading 3-0 as we close out the first quarter of play. This is Brent Moss, who has played the whole quarter. And he'll get a yard or so before Jameer Miller, 6'4", 245, takes him down. 2nd down and 8. Bevel rolls it, throws it. And it is incomplete, intended for Michael Rohn, the tight end. Fletcher is the deep man. In motion.
Here they come.
Bevel throws it to him. He's got it. He went the wrong way, but he got away. And he's got a first down inside the 5. If he took that ball to the middle, he probably scored. But he gives Wisconsin a 1st and goal. Moss is back now at the deep back position. 1st and goal. It'll officially go in the books as the 3. And Moss cuts it in the middle. Touchdown. Rick Schnetsky for the extra point now. Bevel does the holding. Down the middle. If you line these two teams up and had a foot race at 11 positions, UCLA probably would win at least 9 of the races. The kick is not very long. It's at the 11-yard line for Colbert. Whoa, see what I mean? Those feet are so quick. Ricky Davis is the tailback. Time about gone. This will close out the first quarter of play. This is Davis. Ricky will pick up about 3 yards. Ricky Davis remains the tailback. It is 2nd down and 7 for UCLA. That is Stokes in motion. And Cook rolls it. Penalty flag. He throws it to Stokes. J.J. dancing around. A bunch of red shirts jump all over him, but let's see about the penalty flag. Offside. That man also calls that. We've been talking a lot about J.J. Stokes. I want to tell you that number 4, Kevin Jordan, is on the field as well, and he is the fastest man on the field for either team. The ball is thrown by Cook to Stokes. Short completion, and not quite enough for a first down. That fellow there in the headset and the blonde hair, Rick Neuheisel, who was a quarterback at UCLA, got a chance, made the most of it. Now he's back coaching. And James Milliner carrying, the sophomore from Alexander, Virginia, and it does not appear that he got the first down. Cook throws it. Stokes catches it and gets a first down just across midfield. Ball is handed off up the middle to Ricky Davis, a senior out of Houston, Texas. And Davis will pick up about a yard on that carry. Second down and 9. Cook is 6 out of 6 for 95 yards so far in the game, and all of the passes have been thrown to J.J. Stokes. This one sails out of bounds, incomplete, and this one was intended for Brian Allen. 3rd and 9.
Wisconsin all up there looking like they may want to blitz.
Now they peel off. And down goes Cook. What do you do? Somebody step on his foot?
Just stumbled coming away from center.
Darren Shager, the punter for the Bruins, averaging 42 yards on the season. Left foots it very high. There's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. A fair catch is called by Keith Jackson, and it'll give Wisconsin pretty good field position up around the 26-27 yard line. John Laurie indicates offside against the defense. They may want to punt that again. He wanted a re-kick after the 5-yard penalty because one, it moves him up the field a bit, and the first one wasn't all that good. He hangs this one better, but again, it's not that deep, and Nelson is able to come out for the 20 and fair catch it, so it's only a 27-yard punt. Here's the single back right now, and his coach says he's one of the best. He thinks this guy will be playing on Sunday because he primarily is a blocking back in the Wisconsin scheme, but he said he can make somebody a great ball carrier. Very quick. Carries there for a couple of yards. A senior out of St. Paul, Travis Kershke, takes him down. Terrell Fletcher had a big run against Michigan State in that decider over in Tokyo. Searches a bit. Can't find it in daylight. Is dropped at the 26. 3rd down and 4. Bevel throws it too high. Minute he let it go, he dropped his head. Low. Good spinner though, and there's fair coverage and fair catch is called. So it's a pretty good punt as UCLA goes to work from their own 32-yard line. Blitz. Passes away, and the pass is intercepted. It is Jeff Messenger who stole it, the man who leads the Big Ten in interceptions, and he came diving in and just literally picked his pocket. String is broken. He had thrown 126 passes without an interception, and now Messenger gets one, and Wisconsin to the attack. And the UCLA 43, and Terrell Fletcher with that carry will pick up about 2 yards. Bevel gets it away. Thrown for his tight end. That's intercepted by UCLA, number 22, Marvin Goodwin. The ball ricocheted off the tight end road and into the arms of Goodwin. Accepted at the goal line to stop USC's bid to beat them and be here instead. Cook dropped the ball, reached for it, and when he reached for it, he went down on a knee, and the play was over. 2nd down and 15. Give the ball to Hicks. Hicks is a burner. Pretty good gain on that play of about 8 or 9 yards. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 6. Cook. Pass is incomplete. They're going to call it a fumble. They call it a fumble. And J.J. Stokes spinning around, lost the ball, and they call it possession and fumble. Ooh-wee. 32-yard line, first down. Moss is back in there at the running back, the deep spot for Wisconsin. He's got the ball. And trailing the play, Jameer Miller, number 95, takes him down. That's why I said UCLA'd win most of the foot races.
Yes, especially the defensive foot races.
Yep. This is Moss again.
Brent Moss.
Well, he'll be the second leading returner if he does come back next year to Wisconsin, and says he is.
Second leading returner in the nation.
Yeah.
Rushing. Yeah. Blitz.
Bevel's pass quickly thrown, pass good, caught by Keith Jackson. He's taken out of bounds inside the 20 at the 17. Teddy Lawrence got him out, and it's first down, Wisconsin. There goes Moss. From the 17 to the 13 for a 4-yard gain. Second down and 6 coming up.
The 13-yard line.
Watch that 32. See, he's a man in motion. He gets in front of Moss. He goes outside. Moss goes inside. First and goal, Wisconsin. Ball is at the UCLA 1. But it's first and goal, Wisconsin. Moss cuts it outside. He is caught from behind. Goodwin, number 22, got a piece of him, and they're going to put him down after a short gain. Moss again. Lost his footing. Lost a little bit of yardage, too. Lost a half a yard as he planted and tried to make his cut. Third and goal. Moss. I think he lost his footing again. He's right on the goal line, but no call yet. Now he gets it. Touchdown, Badgers. Snetsky's extra point try is good. Cook hands the ball to Davis, and that's a first down.
Ricky Davis carries.
Put it out around the 32-yard line.
First and 10, UCLA.
First down, 32-yard line. Bruins, Skip Hicks and James Miller now in the backfield. Second man, Hicks. Oh, my goodness. He was just a little bit of a trip on the part of Lamarck Shackelford, the nose guard. Otherwise, he might have found that crack and been gone.
The ball out to the 35.
Cook throws a hummer, and it is patted, at least tipped enough along the line of scrimmage that appeared to lose its momentum, and it falls incomplete. Could not get it to Stokes. Half of that class they recruited in that 3-week period are starters here today in this ballgame. You got to be lucky sometimes.
Well, they bought into the program, the Alvarez program, and those who stayed, they're enjoying it.
Cook sacked. It's Shackelford. They need a big one from Shaker. He's had a big season. He gets a big one. Jackson waits at the 28, and he is taken down with some authority by number 39, Andy Colbert, the freshman cornerback. Put it on the 27, first down. Moss and Montgomery in the backfield. Wisconsin leading 14-3. They've got the ball. Moss is outside.
Brent Moss.
First down, 40-yard line, 41, 42-yard line.
Brent Moss finally brought down by Marvin Goodwin and Phil Greenwood.
He got outside and laid a shoulder on Teddy Lawrence and got by him.
Watch from the end zone as the offensive line, they're all just going to step to their right and try to get a reach block.
42-yard line, first and 10, Wisconsin.
And see them all stopping right, and stopping right there. This man right here has the option to go through or go around to get him. That's just the offensive line Now he can stop and go inside, or he can keep going out and around.
Moss again. That is his 21st carry. He had 81 yards until that play. Now subtract 1 because he lost 1. Doremus has not seen the ball today. The leading wideout receiver down the middle. He's under this one, and they knock him down. Penalty flag, first down, Wisconsin. It'll be a 15-yard penalty. On first down, they go back to Moss one more time. He cuts it back into the traffic. Well, he's a tough guy. Got about 7 yards on that carry. A lot of people who have played Wisconsin squawking and yelling about their
They talk about their hands being in with a handful of jersey. You talk about jersey.
Moss again. And that's another first down as he is at the 31-yard line. And it's first down, Wisconsin.
There's Nyquist, tight end.
Play action, and they stop it. Procedure, I think.
Dead ball. False start.
False start.
Penalty. First down.
They put 5 seconds back on the clock to make it an even minute now on first down and 15. Bevel getting some pressure, gets his pass off. The pass is caught by J.C. Dawkins, and Dawkins is wrestled down inbounds at the 30. Wisconsin's got 1 timeout remaining.
Stopped by Robert
Clock running at 40 seconds. They'd like to at least get out of here with 3 if they can. Second down and 8. Bevel looks and throws in the middle. Pass thrown to Matt Nyquist, and again you've got a penalty flag, and it's thrown by a linesman. False start. Offense. They got 1 play, and then they're going to have to try the kick. Bevel throws it underneath to Fletcher. Bounces off 3 people. The ball comes loose. And Wisconsin's acting like they've still got it, and they do. And that stops the clock at 3 seconds. The ball is down around the 20. And Wisconsin's going to have a shot at a field goal. From 38 yards. Hooked it, missed it.
At the first half stats, plays in favor of Wisconsin, and at the bottom, the time of possession, big in favor of Wisconsin also. The 7 points off of a turnover go to Wisconsin.
Darren Washington, big run, gets it out across the 35-yard line.
They are a finesse team.
That is the first carry, first rush of the ball game by Darren Washington. Play action, Cook's pass, thrown low and incomplete. Brian Adams couldn't come up with it.
Poor throw.
Cook checking off. Remember, he's had the flu, had a sore throat. That voice may be getting pretty sore right about here. Pressure, sidearms it, pass caught by Stokes. They were giving Stokes a lot of room, and he's caught by Aaron from behind. And it's a first down at the 46-yard line of Wisconsin. Here's Darren Washington. He's to the 35, and another UCLA first down. Little quick pop out here to Jordan, and Jordan isn't going anywhere with it because the play is made quickly by Kenny Gales, the corner on the boundary side.
Blitz.
Cook gets it away, and it is incomplete off the hands of Wynn. Under the pressure, Cook threw it behind Mike, and he couldn't turn around and get it. Cook has protection, throws a hummer, complete, incomplete. He drilled Jordan with the ball, and I don't know, Kevin obviously didn't catch it, but I'm not sure that he won't go home with a cross on his sternum because he really popped that thing in there.
It's too long for a field goal, and you don't want to punt.
They're out of the regular set, out of the tee as the quarterback's under center, and a single back. Cook has some time and throws, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Wynn, And you finally get a call from the back judge as Wynn was being covered by Donnie Brady. And I think this may prove to be a very good call.
I think it's a good call, too.
Set up Davis and Washington in the backfield for the Bruins with Davis the deep man. Give it to Davis, bouncing outside. And number 47, Unverzagt, chases him. James Milner now is in the backfield for the Bruins. He's number 36. Ricky Davis is number 31.
Here they come.
Cook back, blitz is on, pass to the corner. Incomplete. Intended for Stokes. 3rd down and 3. They go to the shotgun. Cook goes underneath for the 1st down. 1st and goal, UCLA. Cook loses the ball. Wisconsin's got it. Bruins turn it over in the shadow of the goal. So the UCLA Bruins won 11 plays, turn it over, come away empty. Wisconsin ball, 1st down, their own 12. It's Terrell Fletcher and Jeff Worth in the backfield now, with the deep man being Fletcher. He's got it. Get him hold of him or you won't get him. Only one man, number 2, Teddy Lawrence, prevents the touchdown. And it's 1st down, Wisconsin. The ball is up on the 45-yard line. Fletcher again. I'll tell you one thing about the way Wisconsin runs the ball. A guy has just burned up his shoes with a run. Mark Montgomery checks back into the lineup now for the Badgers. Give it to Fletcher. Oh, he's got a convoy. It's 1st down at the 36-yard line of UCLA. Put it on the 37-yard line. And Fletcher's hot. Give it up to Montgomery. And Big Mark gets a carry. Look here, I got a ball, I want to run hard. And he picks up 4. And we get some pushing and shoving. It's against UCLA. It's 1st down. The ball is at the 19. Fletcher comes back. Fumbles the football, picked up by Wisconsin. Rudolph comes right up, and big Joe Rudolph just wrapped it up. Here goes Moss into the stack. And I want to tell you something. There was some folks laying some leather. The ball never came out. I think Bevel wound up with the ball, rolling around on the ground with it.
Bevel fumbled the snap,
but it never came up. They burned the clock. They're 5 out of 7, Wisconsin is, on 3rd down conversions today. That was a big penalty there. Bevel's got a man. He's late getting it away, but it is caught by Dawkins. And Dawkins goes hunting for the marker, and I don't know if he got there or not. Fletcher's out, Moss is in, and Wisconsin's going for it. 4th and 1. Instead of going for the 3, they're going to go for the bundle. Big play in this ball game. Moss dives. I don't think he made it. He did not make it. Penalty flag. Now that could change everything. Oh my gosh.
They're going to throw somebody out of the ball game pretty soon here.
Too much of this. Too much of it. It's a bunch of nonsense. You can't have it. If you can't control it, let's just quit playing the damn game. It's ridiculous. We don't have a shot right down the line.
No, there's
both teams, 2 players, each team ejected.
Who?
Well, I would guess, you know the 2 I would guess, or the 2 that started it that we had.
Goodwin's got to be one of them. Yeah.
Goodwin and DeRamus. Goodwin for UCLA.
He's gone. We know that.
Yeah, he's a 2nd-team All-American. As I said, he's their leading tackler and their leading interceptor as UCLA takes over on downs.
And Cook rolls out, getting pursuit, and runs the ball all the way out to the 17-yard line. Second down and 3 for the Bruins. Cook hands the ball to Ricky Davis. Davis breaks it out of the pack, and Ricky has a first down up at the 27-yard line. Cook to a shotgun on first down. Reggie Holt is out, and Jamel Brown is in replacing him at a strong safety position. And that pass is incomplete. Darren Washington had gone down on a knee, then realized he couldn't make the catch that way, and he started to stand up. The ball arrived. 28-yard line, second down and 10 for UCLA, with Wisconsin leading 14-3. That's a flag. Kevin Jordan was grabbed by Donnie Brady and spun around. 5-yard penalty in the first down. That instance. 5 yards. 14-3 is your score as Cook rolls it out, running for the second time now here in the third quarter, where it is second down and 5. Cook throws, just blocked into the air and falls incomplete. Here's Lynn Swan.
Keith, after the fight on the field, the officials ejected 2 players, one from Wisconsin, one from UCLA. From Wisconsin, Mark Montgomery, the fullback. For UCLA, it's Marvin Goodwin, the free safety.
Third down and 5. Pressure coming, passes away to Stokes. Question is, did he have enough for the first down? And the man coming from the side to mark it, the linesman, has given him a very good mark, and it will be a UCLA first down. They burned the clock. It'll cost them 5. It'll be first and 15. Hicks has got it. I'll tell you what, Mike Wynn didn't knock anybody down over there, the wide receiver. Ball is now on the Wisconsin side of the field. 14-3, the Badgers lead. Hicks has the first down. Works his way to the 45, and they'll move the chains. This is Hicks, the Washington, number 30. And he picks up about 8 yards on the first down carry. This is Hicks. And Hicks slides on around the corner and picks up another first down before Jeff Messenger can bring him down.
Here they come again.
Cook loses the ball. Wisconsin has a shot at it. They've got it. The Bruins have turned it over again.
Back here in the third quarter, 2 more people were ejected from this ball game. From Wisconsin, it was Lee DeRamus, a starting wide receiver, and also Gallatin from UCLA. That means that UCLA's first and second team safeties are out of the ball game.
And Gallatin has been one of their prime blitzers. He's made some huge plays for them late in the season. This is Terrell Fletcher carrying the ball for Wisconsin. They take over first down at their own 37-yard line. Second down and 10. Bevel, incomplete. Pass intended for Vince Zulo. Third down. Bevel's pass is incomplete over the head of Michael London. Absolutely no pressure on him. He just nails it. Guidry's back at the 18, steps away from the first wave of tacklers, and will get it up to about the 20-yard line. 44-yard punt, 2-yard return, but you're probably going to add something to it because of the penalty.
Mike Rohn was down to make the tackle.
Block in the back, illegal block, illegal use of the hands. Ball is on the 11-yard line as UCLA snaps it on first down. Cook rolling out under pressure, delivers the ball to Darren Washington, and Darren Washington is tackled just as the ball arrives by number 98, Yusuf Burgess. This is Ricky Davis running alone. Cook has all day to deliver the ball to the running back, Davis. And he's good to the 35, so it'll be 2nd down and 5. Cook again has all day. Puts it high. Down the field. Passes. Intercepted, but there's a penalty flag, and that interception won't stand.
Defensive pass interference. 15 yards. 1st down.
Hand it off to James Milliner. That's an 8-yard gain. Here comes Hicks. It's another 1st down. Frustrating 3rd quarter. 13 first downs, 161 yards, and no points. Wayne Cook back to throw. Looks for Jordan. Throws. And it is a penalty flag trailing the incomplete forward pass as J.J. Stokes lay it out. Got his hands on it and couldn't hold it. It's holding on the defense. Ricky Davis is back in the lineup now as they stay in the shotgun. Clocks are all screwed up again and not working. Ball is given to Milliner. Milliner running to the right side will get about 4 before he tumbles down. This is Davis. He's outside. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. And we'll see what the Badgers can do. It may be gut check time right here. It's Jackson at the 4. Good return to the 32. Return of 28 yards. He was their long-range threat. They had controlled him, but nonetheless, the threat was still there. They've used Dawkins in the passing game quite well today, but he hasn't seen the ball much here in the 2nd half. This is Moss again. So in 2 runs, they've moved it from the 32 to the 37, where it is 3rd down and 5. Incomplete. The pass bounces off Jeff Worth in the ball game at fullback. 44, 43, 44 on his previous 3. So Sam's done his job today, but he didn't get a whole lot of that one. And it takes a favorable roll for the Badgers and rolls dead. This is Ricky Davis. And Davis is fumble the ball. Wisconsin dives on it, and the Badgers have it. The Bruins have turned it over 5 times. The 30th play of the half. UCLA coughs it up, and Mike Thompson covered it for the Badgers. Here is a golden opportunity for Wisconsin. Penalty flag as Moss runs into the stack and doesn't go anywhere. Offside. Bruins hurting themselves again. It'll be 1st and 5 after the penalties marked off. 1st and 5. Bevel lets it go deep. Look out. Incomplete. Pass intended for Michael London. He was double covered.
That just tells you a little bit about the experience of this young man.
Moss, look out. He got loose. And he's got a 1st down. Moss again. He's whipsawed after a couple of yards. Jameer Miller was the first man to get to him.
UCLA defense now blitzing almost on every play.
They have to. Bevel runs away from pressure. Got loose. A lot of green in front of him. It's touchdown. Bevel makes the big play for the Badgers.
Gets a little help there.
Kick is good. Here's the kickoff. Ayers. And Derek Ayers Brings John Hall's kick back up across the 20. Out of the shotgun from the 23-yard line. Wayne Cook swings one out, and there's a solid collision as Darren Washington is taken down by Kenny Gales. They run out of feet to shoot. Cook back. There's time. He's going to try to run, and that's a mistake. They lose again as Cook is taken down on the 5th sack of the day at the 20, just over the 20-yard line. 3rd down and 12. Pass is away. The pass is good. Caught by Jordan. Kevin Jordan is down at the 40. 1st down, Bruins.
And into the receiver, Jordan, for a 1st down.
Jordan again. Fumbles the ball. Badgers have it. I think penalty flag.
Personal foul. Wisconsin. Interception, okay. 1st down.
1st down and 10. Brent Moss. Nothing there. Moss up the middle. 1st down. He crosses midfield and goes to the UCLA 45. Contact along the line of scrimmage.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
21-10, Wisconsin lead. 1st down and 15 for the Badgers. Bevel still got it. Lets it go. Dawkins can't hold it. Just off his hand. Ball was thrown too high. 2nd down.
Here they come.
Brent Moss was not ready to catch the ball. It is 3rd down and 15. Pass is away. Pass is good to London. And London is well short of the 1st down. Oh, he shanked it. He shanked it. He gets a very lucky roll, though. Look at that. Darren Washington was looking to see where I can go and never caught it. That one is good to win. And Mike Wynn will save possession for UCLA with the 1st down catch out at the 30-yard line. 31-yard line where it is 1st down, Bruins. Cook hums one to the sidelines. Is it a catch? I guess so. Up on the 40. 2nd down and 1 after that 9-yard reception by Stokes. Cook turns inside and just barely avoids some punishment from Eric Unverzak. 47-yard line on the UCLA side. 1st down with 5:50 to play in the ball game. Cook looks down the middle for Wynn. Throws underneath to Stokes. And Stokes is turned upside down by Unverzak down at the 41-yard line. But it's a 1st down. Clock stops when you move the chains on 1st downs in college football. Here's another little short pop thrown to Brian Adams, his 2nd catch of the day. There's another one. Thrown behind J.J. Stokes, though. That's Cook's fault. Bad pass there because he had his man clean and clear. Now they get a little pressure on him, but he breaks up the pressure by completing the pass to Brian Allen, the tight end. There's a little bit of a delay with Darren Washington. And he runs it inside the 20, close to the 18. 2nd down and 6. And Shakovich back in at nose guard. Got to get some pressure on Cook. He's picking him apart. Stokes with the ball. And he's down inside the 10. 1st and goal to go UCLA. 1st and goal Bruins. That's a penalty. Wynn was the intended receiver, and Kenny Gales ran over him. Cook's got it. Throw it. Throws it away. Oh, that
He's got
was
such
pretty
long
close.
legs.
That was pretty close. Incomplete. Pass intended for Kevin Jordan. 3rd down and goal. Touchdown. Mike Wynn. Throws incomplete. Jordan, it went right past his ear. He never looked. They're expecting onside, but they don't get it. It's Keith Jackson at the 8.
Jackson
Down hard at the 18. Been a festive day. The Wisconsin people have made it a festive Rose Bowl with their enthusiasm. This is Brent Moss bouncing up the middle and almost popped out of there. He almost got away out to the 25-yard line. Bevel gives to Moss. There's a first down. Brent Moss to the 35-yard line. Big ball game. The 11th time this year he's gone past 100 yards.
Wisconsin running game and just running out the clock at the end of the ball game.
2 minutes and 20 seconds to play, and Moss again pounding up the middle for about 3 yards. It is UCLA against Wisconsin. It is 2nd down and 6 for the Badgers. They lead by 5 points. Last time the Bruins had the ball just a few minutes ago, they moved it down the field with relative ease as Wisconsin went to the prevent. John
Dead
Lowry.
ball. False start. Offense.
It's against Wisconsin.
And they're here looking down at winning this Rose Bowl game another 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Moss going around the corner on 2nd down and 11. And he's a yard short of a first down. He picked up 10 yards on that carry. 3rd down and 1. He didn't get it. UCLA stopped him.
Of course, the punt coverage and the punt return are important right here.
Low kick. Taken at the 20 by Guidry. And down. And they'll go out of the shotgun. Cook's pass short, tight end, Allen to the 45. That's a pickup of 7 yards. The clock stopped when they moved the chains on first down. 2nd down and 3. There's the first down. J.J. Stokes to the Wisconsin 47. Cook takes off up the middle. Got some room. Does a hook slide at the Wisconsin 36. Clock going. To the sidelines, tied in Allen.
The poor throw.
2nd down and a long 4. Throws a homer. Misses Stokes. 3rd and 4.
Free play.
Free play. The Badgers were offsides. And they whistle and they say no play. Now, they did. It's against UCLA. The man in the red shirt was the one that was most obvious. So it's 3rd down and 9 now with 25 seconds. Cook gets it away. Pass is caught by Stokes. He's inside the 20 and down at the 18-yard line. Stokes has a huge size advantage over everybody in the Wisconsin secondary. They go quickly.
No, you can't do that. You gotta throw the ball.
You got no timeouts. You got no timeouts.
Throw the
That's
ball.
it. It's over. It's over. It's over. Cook tried to surprise him, tried to run it up the middle. Didn't have a timeout to save him. Was knocked down. The clock runs out. The Wisconsin Badgers have defeated the UCLA Bruins by a score of 21-16, and it was a great day for the drummer boy.